Welcome, everyone. This is the Oxidized Podcast. I am your host, Rusty Cook, and joining me is my co-host, Sal Mendez. Sal, how are you doing today?
Yeah, pretty good. Pretty chill.
Hanging in there?
Yeah.
That's good. Everything going okay?
Yeah, pretty well. I mean, it's 2021, so what could possibly go wrong? Am I right?
I mean, you tell me. This year's been going like it has been. But, what we're actually here to talk about, is something that has gone amazingly this year. And we were originally going to do something else for our first podcast episode, which this is. But this came out, and I don't know about you, but I am super excited for it. And I imagine you are probably as well. And that would be the Pokemon Diamond and Pearl remakes that were announced.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about those.
I
I'm ready
am
for it.
I'm super excited. That was for me. I know you probably played before I did, but for me, those were my first Pokemon games, and just everything about the way they did the story and the music and like the characters and the Pokemon, everything about it, I loved.
Yeah, me too. I mean, how old was I back then, man? That was like my elementary school days growing up and playing Diamond and Pearl. I was more of a Platinum. I played more Platinum than I did Diamond and Pearl. I remember more things from Platinum, so I might get things a little mixed up.
Well,
Because I did play Platinum first.
a
Then
lot of people
the other
did play
two.
Platinum, but from what I can tell, just from the trailer a little bit, if I had to guess, they're probably going to be including Platinum in it, especially since for the Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire remakes, they included stuff from Emerald as well.
That's what I'm hoping for. I mean, it would make sense. It would make
Oh,
sense because it's obviously the better version.
oh, absolutely. And there's just so much to look forward to. I mean, I know a lot of people, especially lately, have been criticizing it because like, oh, it looks bad, but like, honestly though, it looks like the sprites back in the day, and it's to scale. And it's like,
Yeah.
for me, I always thought it was a little awkward. Like, how people say Sonic had an awkward transition into 3D, and
Uh,
even today, some people still say, oh, Sonic doesn't do well in 3D. I feel like it's kind of the same with Pokemon. Like, I feel like Pokemon usually, like, I don't think Pokemon works super well in 3D, at least not with a traditional style Pokemon game.
hmm
But I wouldn't mind. I like what they're doing with the Diamond and Pearl remakes.
Yeah.
It's what Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl.
I still keep forgetting what the exact titles are. I still just call them Diamond and Pearl remakes. I forget it's Shining Diamond and Brilliant Pearl.
Yes, sure.
Okay.
Let's go with that.
Like I
Let's.
said, I always forget what they are, so I'm just like remake. They're just
No, I
remakes.
know.
Yeah.
Um,
But I'm all
yeah,
for
but
the graphics too, but I'm kind of what I'm hoping for is if it's like, okay, the graphics are the way they are, that means the Pokemon themselves must be fantastic, right? Like the fighting and the animations and the skills and abilities that they have. Maybe some balancing or rebalancing, I should say, since this is a remake. So that's what I'm really hoping for.
I mean, me too, absolutely. And from the little bit we did see of the fight cutscenes, the Pokemon do look pretty good. They look, like pretty much most of the 3D models they've done lately. Um, I'm mostly wondering, whether or not they're going to include things like Mega Evolution and things like that, or if it's just going to be a straight up remake.
I would like to see Mega Evolutions. It would make sense. But I mean, it has been a while, so are Mega Evolutions even relevant right now? And that's another question. But I would love to see Mega Evolutions. Not so much about Gigantamax. I'm all right with if like they just didn't do Gigantamax. But I mean, if they did, that's fine. But I would like to see Mega Evolutions because I felt like it added like a whole new level to your Pokemon depending on which Pokemon you're using. Like Kangaskhan, for example, where it's like you get 2 hits instead of just one when you use only physical attacks, which is like that's a game changer. That changes your setup and your builds and stuff with your Pokemon. Whereas get Gigantamax, it's a little bit just like I'm big now.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, so I would love Mega Evolutions. And just going to a small point really quick. It had not occurred to me until just now that the Pokemon name you said Kangaskhan it's a joke on Genghis Khan. I've been
Yeah,
playing Pokemon for years, and I did not get this until just now.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Oh my god! But
Yeah.
regardless, though, but yeah, no Mega Evolutions. I would love to have in there, like especially like I have been dying for years for a Mega Torterra. Torterra was my OG back in the day. Still gonna stick with him in the remake, of course, but Mega Torterra, please
You know
give him
what?
to me.
I really didn't think about Mega Evolutions for the starters. I actually forgot that most starters got the Mega Evolution, but I would love to see Mega Infernape or Empoleon. I think Empoleon would be pretty cool. Like I can totally see like a knight or like a king warrior kind of like a king on the battlefield kind of armor setup or going on with him.
Oh,
And then
absolutely. Because
I
if
s-
I recall, Empoleon's already a steel water type. Is that
yeah.
correct?
So I mean, I could see him like getting like a huge buff to defense, like physical defense, maybe not special defense, but definitely a huge buff in defense and maybe was he more of a special attack or a regular attack Pokemon, physical attack?
I think he was more just hard hitting, not specialty hitting.
Okay, so he didn't use projectile. I couldn't remember how exactly his stats were. It's been a while since I used Empoleon or looked at his stats. Um, but
Yeah,
yeah, I
same.
could totally see like a huge buff into that and speed. He definitely was one of the faster ones.
Oh, absolutely. And then I don't even know what Mega Infernape would look like personally. I would like Mega Torterra, like I said, and then I would love to see either Mega Shinx or not Shinx, Mega,
Luxray?
yeah, Luxray, Mega Luxray, or Mega Staraptor.
I can see Staraptor. Yeah, I would like to see the um see Staraptor Mega Evolution. What was another? There was another one that I had on the tip of my tongue, but I just couldn't remember what it was.
Let's see. SINNOH specific Pokemon.
Cacnea or not Cacnea? His evolved form, the cactus one. I thought he
Oh,
would be pretty tight. I would like to see what he would evolve into.
what is his name? Uh, it'll come to me.
Yeah,
But yeah, I would love to see that. Um, oh geez, could you imagine if like uh, what's how would you say it? Perugly?
I think it's Perugly. Yeah,
Yeah, could you imagine a mega evolved form of that?
it's the same cat, but just a bigger scruff thing around his neck.
Yeah, or he's
Yeah,
like, oh no, I want it to look like Garfield.
it just evolves into Garfield.
It's just Garfield. Um, but yeah, um, yeah. Honestly, mega evolutions would be a great thing to add. I would love to be able to replay battles. That was something that was not in the original Diamond and Pearl, but they added it in the following game, not Platinum, but Heart Gold and Soul Silver. They added the ability to what was it, the Versus Seeker, where you could re-battle previous opponents like gym leaders and things like that.
Yeah,
Like honestly, I would love to take on the gym leaders again at a higher level once I've already trained up because I've always felt it was kind of a shame that they were just kind of one and done battles. And I know like the post game is supposed to be, you go into the battle tower and then you go on to fight your friends and do all that stuff. But like, especially being little, when I was little, I didn't have a lot of people to play with.
hmm
And the people I did play with weren't as serious about it as I was. So, I would love to be able to go back and refight the gym leaders at higher levels, refight Cynthia at a higher level, things like that. Some kind of post game um, content, basically.
yeah. I was kind of hoping for the Poketech. I was wondering, like, I was thinking about like maybe adding some new additions to the Poketech because I remember being like, oh, it has the watch, it has the calculator, the memo pad, the pedometer, the Pokemon list that you have in your inventory, and the friendship checker, and the dowsing machine, and
The
all that jazz.
they also what else was on there?
It
Let's see
was
how many. Let's see how many of the apps we can list. There, you already listed a bunch. Did you already say daycare?
not the daycare. It was the map. Oh, that's right. There was a daycare checker, but
Yeah, there was a day.
but I was talking about like the Pokemon list. But yeah, the daycare.
No, yeah. There was a daycare checker. Um, I remember there being a specific event where you got. I want to say it was a Munchlax app.
Yeah,
I don't remember what it was used for though, but
but it
I
was a kitchen timer.
that's right, it was a kitchen timer.
It was Snorlax and it was a kitchen timer, which like
That's right.
I appreciate the Poketech and I like that, but I would really like to see Alpha Ruby and Omega Sapphire Alpha Ruby.
You still said it. You still said it backwards.
I still said it backwards.
Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire.
Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Again, remakes. So Ruby Sapphire remakes.
The thing
but if
is,
I were,
didn't you play these games?
I did.
I didn't even play those remakes.
I did, but I still forget which ones are which. I'm just like, it's the remake one. But I would like to see something along the lines of like how uh, Ruby and Sapphire had that. It was that device that let you hunt specific Pokemon. That was like, okay, if you actually go to this area, it'll tell you like without having to go to the menu and stuff like that. It'd be like, okay, if you want to get a Numel and you wanted the Numel to have these specific abilities or this trait or whatever, and you can just be like, okay, you have to go to, I can't remember all the routes off the top of my head, but it's like go Route 11. You had to go to Route 11, go in this patch of grass, and it would automatically spawn it by rustling the grass, and you just got to run into it. And I thought that was
Yeah,
really
I
neat.
remember that. I got a lot of use out of that, and I think that was actually how you got shinies. What was that called though?
I don't remember what it was exactly.
Um,
I remember it being really useful, but I don't remember the name.
I
I don't
really
think it had a
honestly
name.
I need to go back. I still have my old game, my old original Pearl, and I need to go back and um refamiliarize myself with a lot of the stuff from the game.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to catching a lot of the legendaries though. Like for me, I played Pearl personally. I grew up with Pearl, so Palkia Stan over here. Or is it Palkia? I don't know.
Palkia.
It's hard to
I
tell
go
with
with
these.
Palkia.
Okay. I always said Palkia, but you know how sometimes, like when I was little, I always said Arceus. Or no, I always said Arceus. And then,
I said Arceus.
yeah, I think most people say that. And then the movie for that Pokemon came out, and it was like, oh no, it's Arceus.
Yeah, I think. Did I? No, wait. How did I say? I don't know. It's like a caramel kind of thing. I keep forgetting which one I was.
I remember I said Arceus, and then
Yeah,
they made the movie, and I was like, well, you're wrong.
I said caramel.
I
uh,
say caramel too.
yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to. I'm gonna catch that. I would love actually. Going back to the Mega Evolutions for a minute. I know that Primal Dialga is a thing from the Mystery Dungeon series. So I would love it if Dialga and Palkia, because Giratina already has an alternate form.
Yeah.
So like you don't need to do anything with Giratina. But with Palkia and Dialga, I would love it if they had, if they just brought out Dialga's primal evolution or whatever it is, or primal form, and then gave Palkia primal form as well. Like that would be amazing.
Yeah, I'd want something like that. What another thing that I would have liked, other than Mega Evolutions, was what was it called? Not Gigantamax. There was another. Oh, the other forms, SINNOH forms.
Oh,
SINNOH forms.
the regional forms.
Regional forms. Yeah, so SINNOH.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that would be really interesting. I don't know. I feel like that one's less likely because they only, from what I can tell, seem to do that with the like when they make a new region. I
No,
feel like
because
they seem to.
they did it with the Lola. They did it with Kanto. Or no, they didn't do it with Kanto. Yeah, it was just the newer ones, huh?
Yeah, and I think they did that with Sword and Shield too. Um, which I didn't play that one. I kind of wanted to, but I just haven't gotten around to buying it and playing it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, it would be interesting. I don't know which Pokemon you would do that for though, because there are some Pokemon where it's like, I don't know. I feel like Sinnoh. I think actually, from what I remember back in the day, I first of all I remember that the back in the days when the Pokedex only went up to 493.
Mm-hmm.
That was so long ago. Because we're up to like what now, 1,000-ish Pokemon?
I think so.
Somewhere in the realm of 1,000. I'm
No,
guessing
it's
it's like 900 and something.
898.
898.
898.
I could have sworn it was more than that, but I
It
haven't
was
followed.
898.
I haven't actively played Pokemon in
Although
years.
that is if you consider Calyrex, because the Sword and Shield, Calyrex has like 3 forms.
Uh huh.
So there's just him. Then there's him on the Ice Horse Glacier. I can't remember his name. Glacier, and then Spectier So it's pretty much there's him, Ice Horse, Ghost Horse. So if you want to count,
I
if you
I
want
get
to
the
count
feel
those three,
I get the feeling that doesn't count because they did the same thing back with Black and White, didn't they? Where what was the name of that ice legendary? God, I feel like such a bad Pokemon fan. I like stopped playing after Black and White, but I did play Black and White and I can't remember the name. It looked like a Monster Hunter monster.
Kirab.
That sounds about right. But basically you could combine that with either Reshiram or Zekrom.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, and I don't think those changed their Pokédex numbers. I think it was just an alternate form for those Pokemon. So I don't know. But yeah, I'm looking forward to like, and there are already again with Mega Evolutions. Another point towards that is there are already a few Sinnoh Pokemon that already have Mega Evolutions, such as Lucario, and I want to say,
Garchomp and Lopunny
yeah,
have one.
yeah,
And then
Garchomp, Lopunny, um,
I think those are the
Gardevoir,
three. Gardevoir.
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 Was Gardevoir a Sinnoh first though? I don't
No, yeah, he
think
was Sinnoh.
so.
Sure, she was Sinnoh.
Was it?
It was Glade and Gardevoir was Sinnoh. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's the thing is back in the day, I was like, that was my first main introduction to Pokemon. So I was like, oh, Rattata is from Sinnoh, and then I find out no, it's actually from the original games, and I'm like, oh, well, that's cool.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, they made 493 Pokemon for this game. That's a lot.
Yeah, put them all
Come
in
to
one
find out later,
cartridges.
no, it's like, yeah, oh, yeah. A point I was going to make earlier actually is that I think I remember reading that Diamond and Pearl at the time had actually added the least amount to the overall Pokedex number.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's still accurate. I don't know like how many Sword and Shield added or any of the games between there, not counting any remakes.
Yeah.
But yeah, which is nuts. So I would like to see again the legendaries. I am both looking forward to and not looking forward to having to catch the lake Pokemon again.
Yeah, me too. I get it. I
Like
want them with.
like Azelf and Uxie, it's like fine. Like I can do that. But Mesprit gives me anxiety and frustration
Yeah.
because you'll do like a little because you don't want to knock him out, and usually by the time you go around to catching the lake Pokemon, you're usually a pretty good level. So you don't catching legendary Pokemon is always a game of like you don't want to kill them. Of course, you don't want to completely faint them because then you can't catch them. But you don't want to do like so little damage either. So you have to hit that sweet spot where you
Yeah.
like get him down to like low yellow, mid red.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Yeah, because you don't want to call it too close. I can't tell you how many close calls where you see that bar going down, it's changing color, it gets to red, and you're like, please don't die.
And then you're just like sitting there with nothing. You went through all your Ultra Balls, then your Great Ball or your Ultra Balls, your Great Balls, and now you're stuck to your Pokeballs, and you're still trying to get that one. Or for me, it was Heatran. I remember Heatran being a pain.
Heatran, I did not have a lot of difficulty with. That for me actually happened with Palkia. That was
Palkia.
Palkia I caught with a Pokeball because I ran out of all my other Pokeballs, and I believe it was actually my last Pokeball. And I was like, if I do this, I'm gonna have to go all the way through Mount Coronet again. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
And I got really lucky, and I was like, thank you, Arceus.
I'm just still thinking about all those like Sinnoh forms, like who I would like to see. Like I'd like to see some Pokemon that don't really have like a place in anybody's deck or party. You know, like Quillfish. Who has a Quillfish in their deck? So like I would like to see Pokemon like Quillfish have a Mega Evolution. Like I know some people might say it's a waste, but I'm just like, let's just go for it. Let's make Quillfish have a Mega Evolution or a Sinnoh variant, or we can even say Swalot. or Sharpedo actually already has one, or Grumpig, or just like like the ones that are just like they don't have a place in the party, but because they have a Mega Evolution or uh, a different form or region form, kind of gives them a reason to be picked up. You know.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I was just as you were saying it, I was thinking about it, and I remembered actually that Sinnoh kind of pioneered the whole thing about Pokemon having alternate forms. I know previously they had done in the previous gen they had done Deoxys having alternate forms because of the meteor, or did Deoxys have his original form in Gen 3 and then it was Diamond and Pearl that actually introduced him having alternate forms?
I honestly don't remember. It's been so long.
Because I remember that you could take in I want to say it's Veilstone City, and there's like these meteorites that are all around town, and you could walk up to them, and if you had Deoxys in your party, depending on which one you walked to, he would change form. Um, and I remembered that, but even that aside, there were a few Sinnoh exclusive Pokemon where they had alternate forms, like what was that slug Pokemon? It was like a sea slug.
Oh,
I feel bad not.
Ampharos? No, wait. It
I
was.
feel bad.
I think it's Ampharos or something. I remember it's like AM something.
Um, I'll have to check and see what it was, but I remember it had an east and a west form, and one was blue and one was pink.
Yeah.
There was that one. They had another one, that had, Burmy. Burmy had another form. He had a
Burmy
few
and
forms. He was
Wormadam.
that,
Wormadam
yeah,
too.
Wormadam, and they had the they had the like the trash form, the sand form.
And then the grass form.
Yeah.
Gastrodon. I actually remembered what the slug
God,
was.
there
Gastrodon
you
and
go.
Shellos. Ampharos was the the sheeps of all form.
Yeah.
Mareep. That's right.
Do you think Cricketune? Here's another one. Do you think Cricketune should either get another evolution or a mega evolution?
Mega Evolution. I could totally see him having like his stomach being like a violin or something. Like I already know that it looks kind of like a fiddle or a violin, but I could see it becoming like he's just one giant bass.
Mm-hmm.
Like just like he just becomes a bass.
Oh, did was Sinnoh the one that added Silcoon and Cascoon, or was that a previous?
Yes, it was Silicoon and Cascoon, and then
Okay.
Moth something. I can't remember what it was.
Mothim. That
Mothim.
was that was the female evolved form of Wormadam or
Or
Burmy.
was it Moth?
Yeah,
What was
because
that
okay, I remember male Burmese evolved into Wormadam, females evolved into Mothim.
That's right.
Mothim.
Mothim.
Shellos. Shellos was the pre-evolved form of the.
Yeah, Shellos.
Yeah. Mega Driftblim is already a thing, isn't it? I think.
You don't think so? I don't remember.
I'm having because there are ones here, and I'm looking at a list right now, and I can see like I'm pretty sure Steelix was added with Diamond and Pearl, wasn't it?
Steelix? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that was Johto.
Was it Johto?
That was
Oh,
Johto.
okay. I know Mega Roserade's already a thing.
Mega Rose. Yeah, I think Mega Roserade's a thing.
Let me see. Who else? Oh, Buizel and Floatzel. Mega Floatzel would be pretty cool.
Yeah. Mammothswine. I like to see Mammothswine or Dusk Noir.
Mm-hmm.
I think they'd be pretty tight.
Let's see. Yeah, Driftblown would be a good one. Oh, Skunk Tank.
Skunk Tank. I could see a Skunk Tank.
What about another evolution for Bronzor or Bronzong?
I'd like to see one for Bronzong. I think a Mega Evolution would be pretty tight for him. He just becomes the Bell.
You know what I actually would like to see? I would like to see an alternate form for Spiritomb.
Spiritomb? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Spiritomb is one of those ones where it's just like some people use them, some people don't. I personally didn't really care for Spiritomb, but I would like to see him have a Mega Evolution because I think he could probably come up with something pretty crazy.
That's the thing though. I don't think they could do a mega evolution because at least back in the day, I don't know if he's still considered it. He, it, she. I don't know. It's a ghost. I think it's just an
It's a
it.
ghost. It's an it.
Um, I don't think it. Yeah, it doesn't have any kind of evolution chain. I feel like having an alternate form would be more interesting, especially since it's ghost and like, ooh, ghost change forms or whatever.
Yeah,
Like it's because I think the whole thing is that it's a ghost trapped in like this stone, basically, right?
pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, so you could probably do something like maybe it becomes some kind of like golem monster type
Mm.
thing. Like that would be pretty interesting. Um
Oh, real quick, just so that way people in the comments don't think we're morons. But I forgot that Silicoon, Cascoon, were Hoenn, and they evolved into Beautifly and Dustox. I just want to make sure that people knew that.
Oh no,
So,
I knew the Beautifly and Dustox were previous ones. I thought it was one
yeah,
of those cases where
I
Silcoon.
forgot. So I was just trying to be like, I was remembering.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah, so I was,
Better to clarify,
yeah,
one I was thinking about though is Combi and Vespiquen I know were SINNOH exclusives. And Vespiquen I remember destroyed back in the day. Like that was one of the Pokemon where if you're a bug type trainer,
hmm
like you want a Vespiquen. And I think Mega Vespiquen would probably be pretty cool. Or alternatively, maybe an evolved form for male Combi who they evolve into like some sort of bee knight or something like that.
yeah, or a drone or something. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean she's very much, a queen embodiment, so I think evolving that into evolving the males into something that's more like a kind of a knight in armor. I feel like that would kind of fit.
I could see Ambipom, the two-handed Apom.
Yeah, I could see that getting a mega evolution
That
or
could be like
maybe
six or 8 arms or something like that.
I could see them probably just
Acropom,
doing a third tail and then altering the body a little bit maybe.
the third tail. I was and there's over here me with 8
Yeah, I'm like dude, take a chill pill.
Octopom. Miss Magnius
um
deserves one. I think out of all of them, Miss Magnius definitely deserves a Mega Evolution.
oh, that would be super cool.
I can see
You
Miss
know,
Magnius.
honestly though, like I'm looking forward to I want the struggle to be real with Cynthia when I fight Cynthia. I don't want that fight to be easy. I want to get to level 80 and be like, okay, I could beat most people in the game, and then I show up and Cynthia's like 85,
Just
87.
curb stomps you.
Just like not even joking, because I remember back in the day that was so satisfying when I finally beat her. It took me a few tries.
Yeah.
And I blew through the Elite Four like it was nothing. I was like, this is gonna be easy, and then you walk in, you hear that piano, and you're like, why do I hear
Uh,
boss music?
I would love for them to have like a difficulty slider. I think that's the biggest thing is it needs a difficulty slider or a setting. I know a lot of people are probably like games shouldn't have difficulty settings, but I would really like to have like an easy version, for the babies, and then a medium version, and then a hard version where like let's just say every Pokemon's like 10 levels higher than medium version or something.
I do agree with that. I will make a counterpoint though. I feel like Pokemon in general, especially the main Pokemon games, would benefit from doing new game plus.
Yes, I think so
So
too.
so like you go through the region again and do that thing where, cuz usually most people are pretty high level 80, 90ish by the time they completely 100% any Pokemon game, right?
Uh-huh.
Like you're pretty high level. Make it so that the actual Pokemon counter goes up higher, and maybe like in actual battles when you're facing other people, they lower the level of your Pokemon so that everybody's even, and it's based on skill, not level.
Mhm.
At least when you're fighting other players. But do a new game plus. You get all your Pokemon. Maybe some new Pokemon become available at New Game Plus that you can catch that maybe are more powerful. Maybe there are certain Pokemon whose evolutions are locked by New Game Plus. Not,
Mhm.
I'm not
I
saying
can see
lock.
that.
I'm not saying lock previous ones, but like Pokemon who maybe didn't have an evolution before, maybe do that. Um, and so that way it's like, oh, okay, your Pokemon reached level 125, and now the cap is 200. you
Yeah,
know.
I can see that.
I feel like Pokemon, especially for people who want to be long term fans of Pokemon, like I always found that for any Pokemon game that I played, the games themselves were fun, but the post game left a lot to be desired, and especially if it's like, well, I want to keep playing though. And to me, I'm not the kind of person where it's like, oh, I'm just going to restart a new file. Like to me, that seems almost like that it's a waste of effort. Like why would I?
It's kind of one and done after both. But I would really appreciate just like a hard difficulty, or even like you said, the new game plus, where it's like there's the ultra hard difficulty. But I would like to see something where it's just like gym trainers, instead of having just the 2 Pokemon, they would have like all 6. Because it's like, okay, if you play it on hard or very hard or something like that, like it just seems kind of odd to look at a gym leader and being like, you're a gym leader, but you only have 2 Pokemon.
Oh yeah,
Like, I'd
absolutely.
really
Like
like to have like a very hard mode where it's like I actually have to strategize, think about it,
well,
or
that's why I think New Game Plus would be good though, because like people like you and I who like it that way it's they don't have to necessarily change the game per se.
yeah,
And all they have to do is make it basically they just make a second version of the game instead of having to alter the entire game in little bits and pieces.
yeah,
Just essentially make a second version of the game, but buff everybody up massively. So like you walk in and that the first bug catcher you see in a turn of forest, and he's got like a Vespiquen that's level like 130 or something. You know?
yeah. I mean, I doubt that they would try to go do like like an above 100. Like I feel like 100 is like their max, and they won't go any higher. I'm giving these guys the benefit of the doubt, or not the benefit of the doubt, but I'm just like I'm thinking very minimalist here. Like just that's why I'm just being like, okay, more Pokemon or stat boosts or
Oh yeah.
levels, because let's face it, they don't do too much in terms of like adding new content
No,
for
they
the
don't.
most
I
part. So
mean,
I'm giving them like I'm really just kind of giving them the minimalist here.
oh, absolutely. And you know, like at this point, we're more or less talking about what we would like out of the Pokemon series.
Yeah,
But I am really excited for these remakes, though. Even like I was telling my girlfriend, like even if she played the games back in the day too. Even if the games are basically just straight up remakes and they don't add a lot. Maybe they just revamp the soundtrack. They add a couple like new Pokemon from different regions. They add a couple mega evolutions, maybe, or even if they add nothing, I will just be excited to go back and play through SINNOH again because like I said at the beginning, I loved the story. I loved Team Galactic literally just trying to tie down gods so that they could recreate the universe in their image, which was really dark for Pokemon. I mean, Pokemon had done dark before, Team Magma and Team Aqua. Oh, we're going to flood the planet or we're going to,
dry up all the water.
yeah, like that's dark, but that's like
We're
Cyrus
gonna
was
make you
like
thirsty,
Cyrus was early day Thanos. He was Pokemon Thanos.
pretty
He was like,
much. Yeah,
I will recreate the world in my image.
yeah.
Um, and he was an actual threat, and I loved that. Like he was a really cool villain, especially going back to the music. The music really sold everything. I loved every single thing. I loved the wild battle theme. I loved the very calm soundtracks they used for the routes, and I loved the city themes, and again, especially the battle themes. One of my favorites, my two favorite soundtracks in the game are the Team Galactic battle theme and Cynthia's battle theme, because those are just so good.
I mean, you
And
can listen to those songs for hours.
oh,
No,
absolutely.
well, I
And
don't really like the Cynthia one. That one scares me. Like when you walk into that one house in black and white, and then it's just booting, and you're just like, uh oh.
you turn around and you shake the doorknob, let me out.
Yeah, no, you turned into that. What's that? Ralphie or whatever from The Simpsons. Just I'm in danger.
Oh, I remembered I walked into when I was playing black and white, and I walked into that house with Cynthia in it, and my first thought was it was fear. My next thought immediately after was, let me go get my team. I'll be right back with you. give me 5 minutes.
Oh my god, Cynthia was an incredible final boss for Pokemon in general.
She was, and I think to this day she's probably still the toughest champion in all the games from what I understand.
And that's
Again,
what,
I haven't played a lot of the later games, but I know people who have, and her team setup and the actual sheer level of them and everything about their team, from their stats to their abilities to their actual attacks, everything was just so difficult, and it made it so much more satisfying to beat.
yeah. I mean, the chick has like a Spiritomb, the Gastron, the Garchomp. Let's face it, Garchomp was a pain in the butt. Like you
Oh,
can't.
I remember that being the most difficult.
I
Like
mean,
I was like, okay, that one and Spiritomb remarkably. Lucario, I remember went down, at least for me, fairly easily. Spiritomb gave me some trouble, and that Garchomp was the bane of my existence.
that's why the Pokemon cards and every single Pokemon team from Black and White and just Platinum and Diamond and Pearl, they all had Garchomp. Like that's why it's Cynthia's Garchomp. Like nobody thinks of Cynthia's Spiritomb or Roserade. They think Cynthia's Garchomp.
Yeah. Well, actually, I think Cynthia was actually the only trainer in the entire game to have a Spiritomb, because I don't think anybody else did. Which I remember just thinking back in the day, wow, Cynthia, I'm impressed with you. You went and ran around in the underground for like 50 hours so that you could do that. What was the convoluted way you had to get Spiritomb? I remember it was something like you had to go into the underground. You had to talk to somebody. So I when I got my Spiritomb, I borrowed my brother's DS and his copy, and I just kept going up and down, and I think you had to talk to 30 people in different trips in the underground, and then you interact with the stone that's up in the overworld, and then you can fight and catch Spiritomb.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's been such a long time since I played Diamond and Pearl for Spiritomb, so I don't remember exactly how to do it, but I remember that's kind of the cliff notes of it, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, all I remember is that it was real. I think that's why I considered it legendary back in the days, because it was such a ludicrous requirement
Yeah,
for you to be able to unlock it, which I'm kind of hoping they change it. I mean, we'll have to see what they do with the underground, because it definitely looks like they're revamping the underground as well. And they're gonna have to do a lot with the game because there's no touchscreen this time. I mean, technically there is a touchscreen, but there's no double screen touchscreen.
yeah.
It's just the one thing. So I wonder, how they're gonna incorporate the Poketech or Poketch or whatever it's called, the watch.
I'm a Poketech.
I always said Poketech, but I've been told by people it's Poketch. I guess it's supposed to be like Poke Watch, so Poketch.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's like the Pokemon version of the Apple Watch. It's like the name doesn't make much sense, but okay. But yeah, no, I'm excited to see how they're going to incorporate all of that and what they're going to end up doing, just to get it finished.
yeah.
But overall, yeah,
They
I'm
have
super.
they have a few months for it. They got a few
They
months, so
they did well. You say a few, but it's like what, coming out holiday of this year,
holiday of this year. Yeah,
holiday 2021. Like,
it's a game that's already done, quote unquote, story wise, gameplay wise, stat wise. Like all the meat and potatoes is done. Now we're just looking for polish, and I hope we get a lot of polish and animations and stuff.
oh, I'm sure they're going to add quite a bit, especially after seeing some of the online feedback. I can't imagine they're going to change a lot, but they could change a couple things like shaders and
Yeah, something like
things
that.
like that. But yeah. Well, honestly, I could probably talk about this for another 3 hours, but I feel like we've reached a fairly good stopping point. I feel like we've gotten a lot covered today.
Yeah, I feel the same way. All right then.
Yeah, absolutely. So Sal, really quick, where can people find you out on the internet?
You can find me on my YouTube channel, Salvador Mendez. I don't have any social media at the moment, but I'll be thinking about getting that set up.
Alrighty, yeah. I mean, and definitely go check out his channel. He plays lots of games, streams a lot, especially. I know that you're a big fan of streaming 7 Days to Die. That's one of your big ones.
Mm.
Resident Evil, a lot of scary games for you. But yeah, definitely something for you viewers to check out. And as for myself, you can find me over at Mega Artist 923 on Twitter, as well as on Tumblr. So megaartist923.tumblr.com. And then you can also, check out here on the Oxidized Podcast channel. We'll be hopefully trying to post weekly here. So we'll see how that goes. But first podcast, I feel like this one turned out pretty well. What do you think, Sal?
I thought it was pretty good.
Alrighty. Well, and if you guys have anything that you guys want us to talk about, leave a comment. And then thank you for listening to us. You guys have a great day.
All right, have a good day. See you.